guys, today we're going to talk about something that I think is the reason for 95% of all health issues that our pets have nowadays. And that is a leaky gut. We all know that the gut is the heart and soul of our pet's immune system. And if something with digestion is not right, then that should be an immediate indicator to reassess the diet, because usually gut issues do turn into more than just gut issues. And we'll talk about that today. There is a common denominator for most issues that our dogs and cats face nowadays, whether that is kidney issues or in general renal issues, whether that's UTIs, whether that's struveitis, whether that is gingivitis, whether that's atopic dermatitis, it doesn't matter. All these things often go back to one thing, and that is a leaky gut. Because if the balance in the gut is not right, if the organisms that are working inside your pet's gut are not the right ones, then that can build up into a lot of health issues. And that's why we are talking about how to keep the gut healthy, happy, and sealed today. So let's start with what the inside of our pet's gut should contain. And that is basically a very acidic, hostile solution. Because, see, our pets, dogs and cats, they do explore the world with their mouth or with their snout. They do, eat dirty stuff like dirt and poop and whatnot. They lick themselves clean. So obviously nature provided a way that dogs and cats can handle bacteria differently than us humans, for example. So once a dog or cat swallows food, it is forced down the esophagus quite aggressively, because dogs and cats don't have flat teeth and they cannot move their jaws sideways, so they cannot grind food. It is just chunked and forced into the stomach. That is why they develop this thick drool. It is just a lubricant to get chunks down the food pipe. So in the gut, there's an extremely hostile acidic bath which takes food apart. So you put a piece of chicken, meaty bone, let's say, in, and then it lands in this acidic bath, and it should be separating. And then organisms like bacteria and whatnot, they come and they produce vitamins out of these nutrients that have now been set free through this acid bath. And they start working, and then nutrients can diffuse into the bloodstream through the gut lining, and that can take nutrients where they need to go, and all is good. Now, if the organisms in the gut are not getting the right nutrients, so an example is we don't want yeast bacteria in our dogs or cats' stomachs, because they are inflammatory and they are bad, right? Cause infections. So if we are feeding a lot of carbs, kibble, starches, stuff like that, yeast like that, the good bacteria that we want, that produce short-chain fatty acids, vitamins, whatnot, they need high-quality animal protein. So we need to feed a basic of a good diet to feed those good bacteria, so that they can, even if you do feed some rice or if you do feed something that's not perfect, these good bacteria that are there because you're also feeding some fish, because you're also feeding some chicken, because you're also feeding bone, they will take care of the yeasts that might like the little bit of rice you're feeding or something. So bottom line is, the most important thing for a healthy gut is to have the essential nutrients in the diet. If there's also stuff that's not perfect, it doesn't matter that much at this point. It's important that you have some meat, bone, organ from different protein sources. Some fish, some chicken, some mutton would already work. Some eggs. Anyway, back to leaky gut. So what happens if we do not have the right balance in the diet and consequentially in the gut? Then organisms, bad organisms, toxins, yeasts, fungi, they can attach to the gut lining. Of course, this all causes inflammation, because we know inflammation is the body's response to something going wrong, trying to fix it. So obviously, if the bacteria, fungi attach to the gut lining, then the body will have inflammation because it's trying to fix this. Now, inflammation will make the cells in the gut lining swell, and it will make them grow apart a bit. So now stuff from this extremely hostile, acidic environment in the gut can diffuse into the bloodstream. And now what happens is the bloodstream takes the toxins and these bad bacteria and undigested protein, all of that, all over the body. That will impact the renal system heavily. Then, of course, the skin, as the biggest organ, will try to help the renal system, the kidneys and the liver, which then will turn into skin rashes, and the vet possibly saying this is atopic dermatitis, giving you antibiotics, and then prolonging a circle of you coming back because the underlying issue of the leaky gut is not fixed. And that is for all issues. It can be arthritis, it can be heart issues, it can be ear infections, it can be urinary tract infections. You have to understand that the stuff that is supposed to be sealed like Fort Knox is diffusing into the bloodstream and going absolutely everybody in your pet's body if the gut lining is leaky. This also will lead to food allergies or diagnosed food allergies, because if you're feeding, let's say, chicken and rice, which is an inflammatory diet and will make the gut lining leaky, then after some time that the gut lining has been leaky and you have not known this, the immune system recognizes intruders, viruses, by their protein structure. So now imagine you're feeding your dog chicken or your cat chicken, there's a gut lining is leaky. The chicken protein, undigested, gets out of the gut into the bloodstream. The immune system will attack it because this is not supposed to be there. Then the immune system will note down, okay, chicken protein is a virus, gotta attack it. So now you keep feeding chicken, the system keeps happening, you might give antibiotics on top for something. This whole thing will keep happening, and your body, your pet's body will learn to react immediately when this protein, let's say chicken, is coming in. That doesn't mean your dog is allergic, that means there has been a food intolerance created by teaching the body a wrong thing because the underlying issues were not fixed. And that is what's so important, and that is why we should feed a more balanced diet, why we should always reassess any issue that our dogs have or our cats have immediately. Why could this be? What have I been feeding? What is my pet missing? Are they lacking? Because if you go in early and you change the diet, you can handle this without medication. But once you go down the road of starting antibiotics, not fixing the underlying issue, starting medications, then you have such a convoluted health history there and so many things that you have to fix that it's getting difficult. So go for real food, add some variety, talk to me if you need help.